For a long time, I was under the impression that if a complex skill was not cultivated in childhood, that it was virtually impossible to develop it to a high level as an adult. This assumption was mostly based on my observing myself and other adults who've learned foreign languages past adolescence and how they all speak with accents. And now I understand that the way the vocal cords grow and the sounds they're required to make can impact, accents. But also, I was thinking that it was mostly because of the crystallized, mature brain and how it's less sponge-like and less plastic and open to change. And I was also under this impression because I started taking piano seriously when I was 18, 19, and I thought that I started way too late. I'm going to be limited. I thought that I was just going to be confined to a certain level, no matter how hard I worked. And I was wrong. And it was my piano teacher who revealed this lesson to me, not by telling me, but all I had to do was follow his instructions, and it was revealed that just because it's harder to make new neural pathways with a mature mind, it does not mean that it's impossible. You can theoretically create the same neural connections that a child prodigy can make so effortlessly as an adult, but it's going to take 10 times more work. You have to really focus on meticulous, painstaking repetition and beat the information into your brain. So for example, if you're learning a piece of sheet music, you play every single note twice. I am talking like this. That's the idea behind it, and you're literally hammering the information into the brain and forcing it to adapt. Another way is creating different contexts, different scenarios, like inventing your own rhythm, and that way, if you can play the notes regardless of the context, regardless of the rhythm, you know the notes. So you have to know the thing inside and out, backwards and forwards. You need to eat, sleep, breathe this, and work much harder to imprint it into your being. But it is definitely possible. Another technique is to consistently to force your brain to adapt and make room for this skill, is to constantly expose yourself to contexts that are just outside of your ability, just outside of your skill level, a little bit over your head. So in the case of the piano, you're trying to sight read. Sight reading is when you just open a piece of music and try to play it right away with both hands. So sight read Maurice Ravel, just insane pieces that are like superhuman. Just try. Even though you're not going to succeed, try. And that way, thereafter, other pieces are going to seem much simpler, even though they're very hard objectively. So that's another way, is to consistently expose yourself to things that you really cannot play, and it'll force you to grow and get better. And lastly, it's important to be able or have the ability to just forget everything all the work, all the technical work you put in, and just play like a child. Just trust the work you put in and be able to just play. It's like, with a golf swing, you can't think of all of the different technical components at play in a golf swing. It's not going to work that way. You have to just swing. You have to just play like a child. I think that's why there's a such thing as child prodigies, because they have the ability to just trust their abilities and not think, just be in the moment. And that's just as difficult. That's another skill to learn, just as important as the repetition. And I'd like to share the results of these techniques and how they do work. I learned Debussy's Toccata this year, and it's a very, very difficult piece. I never thought I'd be able to play. Am I a musical genius? No. Are there wrong notes and rhythm problems and dynamics that are lacking? Yes. But I can play it for the most part, and I never thought I could. So if you're thinking, if you have these limiting beliefs and you think that you're not going to reach a certain level, you're your own worst enemy. You're your own governor. You have the motor. You have the raw materials. It's just a matter of repetition and putting in the work and forcing the adaptations to take place.
Thank you.